Hi everyone, welcome to this video. As you can see, I changed the name of my channel and I named it after Richie the Blind Hedgehog, which you might have seen in an earlier video, in a previous video. Now, for the people who didn't see the video till the end, unfortunately Richie has been euthanized. So yeah, well, I kind of missed him the very first days and I still cherish him really much. I cherish the video I made about him. But yeah, in this video I'm not going to talk to you about Richie, since he's actually gone. I don't even have his cage anymore. So, he was always running here, but yeah, unfortunately, he didn't actually have the luck that his condition got better. So, yeah, well, unfortunately, Richie had to be put down. I was really sad about it. Never mind for now. In this video, I would like to have, well, I'm here with my little Chuxky. This is the one from Bride and Seed of Chuxky, I believe. He's the one I just unboxed. He's really sweet. Kind of creepy though. And he always drops his knife. So I have to, yeah, watch over this. Now in this video, I wanted to have a look at the second figure like this that I have. It is right here. This is a figure I got on our Belgium Comic-Con named Facts in Ghent. So yeah, I kept this figure in its box ever since. And I decided to take it out today. I wasn't quite sure I would do it in first place, but it's just such a pretty collectible. I have mine right here. But this is the little guy. Yeah, he might be a bit messed up, especially his hair, because he's huddled against my chest when I'm asleep. That is actually the reason why I wanted to unbox this guy twice. I wanted to get him twice because I wanted to have one as a collectible and one to cuddle up with or to use. And I've been using this little guy for a while now, and I'm actually very happy with him. He's adorable. He's not entirely plushy. He fits my arms pretty well, and it's just really. I can't say curled up because this guy can't curl up, but he's like, yeah, against my chest when I sleep. So yeah, well, for a doll, he does pretty well. The size is pretty okay. So I can tell you this figure can be a nice gift collectible or even a little plushie to sleep with. I just brush his hair. Of course, his hair would get a bit messy on the tips here. So actually I wanted to, since I love this figure so much, I thought it's just too bad to keep this one in its box, even though the box is kind of part of the collectible. But I think it's just too bad because this figure can be such a nice ornament, and I would like to put this little guy next to this guy here. I'll just get one of these because it's not exactly my favorite, but it's just one of them that I wanted to collect. I'm a big fan of those Mezco figures. These are the only ones I have in my Chuxky collection for now, because I wanted to find larger figures, and that's actually why I put some money in those instead of getting the smallest figures. So let's do a second unboxing of this Chuxky figure, and maybe there are some nice little things I can still say about him. Now maybe I can just show you the box once more, because it's such a pretty box. This guy comes in just a regular yellow good guy box. This is the usual price they go for in euros, and I really like the big name titles. I was thinking of putting one of those boxes apart just to keep the pieces into my fan book. There you go. So you have some good guy art. Here you have, well, what is this guy doing? I think it's going to build something. Here you have an Indian, and this is a, well, I have no idea what he's doing. Like, doing some sports. And, well, this guy was quite busy actually, so you can still reach for his button here. I really like actually the drawings and the artwork on the box. I kept all three boxes for now. So I still have the two other boxes as well. And there's just a little piece of tape you have to cut away here. There you go. So actually the best way to remove these attachments is not from the front, but just remove the plastic molding in the box and take it from behind. So his attachments are like behind his neck, his elbows here, and also his ankles. And maybe also one around the waist. No, there's nothing around the waist. So I'll just cut them over and remove the knife. And here you have the regular battery information. So the place where you can actually change and put his batteries. That's just such a cute drawing. There you go. Actually, I did not open this little battery spot, this little place, because it just comes with batteries and there's no need to open it. I don't think this guy is actually in Try Me. He is just, well, he's in regular mode, he's in on mode actually, so that was a little mistake on this little guy here. So here he is. Here's a little one. I can say, well, when you have a look at his hair is really soft. Well, I can tell you, I spend a lot of time caressing his head, and I can tell you it's really soft. Now, his head articulation is maybe a bit stiff. Yeah, it's actually very stiff, but it gets much better once you actually use or play with Chuxky. You're gonna notice that his head gets moving much more easier. Also, here you see the hair on mine. It's more messy. He got his hair gets brushed. I brush his hair every morning, and each time after nap time. So, well, he has his little moments of cares. Yeah, sometimes I take care of him, like, well, brushing his hair, washing his face. There are the two dolls next to each other. So this is mine here, and this is the new guy. And actually, well, I think their condition is quite comparable. This guy has been spending a few nights in my arms, so his condition might be a bit better, but I don't really have that impression. And what can I show you about this little figure? Well, it's a really sturdy figure. Like I probably told in the previous video I made about him, is that he is really sturdy. He's kind of heavy too. And he has really gorgeous eyes. This is the guy from Child's Play 2. And I think his clothing hangs on pretty well on his limbs. Now, of course, if you start using this guy and dragging him around like I do and taking him for car trips and stuff like this, of course his clothing will come more loose. But it helps the doll to move into its clothing, so it's not particularly bad. I mean, sometimes it makes Chuxky look more natural. Look at the hair, for example. When his hair is a mess, he looks twice as realistic as this guy here. So, in fact, it's not particularly bad that he get used or something. But I have one for using and one for display. He has such soft hair. Hey, buddy. Yes. I think his clothing is really the right size for him. It's just perfect for him. He has like such tiny feet. And even on the bottom of his feet you have the detail. Or his foot. Now this guy will just keep his knife. I'll just give it to him. It's just that sometimes it's hard for him to take the knife. I think this guy, no, he didn't drop it this time. Hedgehog! There you go, this is Truffle the hedgehog. Truffles. And there you go. I want to have these guys next to each other. Now, why did I actually unbox this guy? Well, it's a pretty expensive figure, and I think it's just too bad to have him hiding in the corner in his box, all forgotten. I think it does him much more, well, how can I say this? I forgot the word. It does him much more justice to be displayed next to another one, even though you don't really use him. Not quite sure how comparable or how similar the skin color is on these guys. I have the impression that this guy is more a bit yellowish compared with this one here. Also, his forehead here is much smoother than this guy here. The material is kind of rough. I have no idea if there is a difference in material. Anyway, both dolls are really super sturdy, and they're very true to the character. Look at the little pieces here, really well made. So there you go. But if I have to pick one, this is definitely my favorite. So I know there's also the pizza face and the good guy one available, but I didn't really like those ones. I didn't like the look in the pizza face eyes, and I didn't like the good guy one. This guy was, well, the look that I really wanted to see for the old Chucky in his character as a figure. Really, really sweet. So I really recommend these figures. He has articulations like this. So in his shoulder, you can rotate his shoulder or make his arm extend slightly. You can also turn his elbow or turn his wrist here. So he has a bit of articulation. You can still pause him. He has a head articulation in the neck. He also has hip articulation, but he doesn't have any knee articulation, unfortunately. So you can make him sit up with widespread legs. Doesn't look very natural, and if he would sit like this, actually you will have to sustain his back just to make sure he sits up. So that's about the articulation. You can also turn his feet like this to, for example, to make him stand for more balance. It's like an ankle articulation, see? Moves from here. I think he's still on. I turn him around like this.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Tidy up!
It's kind of loud. His laugh. Probably going to put him off, to switch him off afterwards. Oh, man, he's so loud. So this is actually his on mode. He's not in try me. I think he speaks 6 phrases.
Time to play. I hate kids.
It's like my favorite sentence. So it's just such a pretty figure. It's just too bad to keep it in its box. Just keep it away. If you take good care of it, you can still... Well, I'm not quite sure, and I'm not really going to sell these guys for now. So I'll just take advantage of them and use them and enjoy them as much or as long as I can. So that's actually the reason why I put this guy out of his box. Also, it's way too charming to be just locked away. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Oh man. I really recommend this figure. But well, it's actually... It also depends on what you really love about this character. Is it its look? Is it just his posture? Is it its sentences? The things he say? Depending on that, actually, this figure, well, it looks kind of complete. And it's 15 inches tall, so as you can see, I don't really have very large hands, but it's a good size. For someone like me, just a perfect cuddle buddy. But this figure is also really nice for display or for in a collection. It's actually like a really large action figure with very sturdy articulation. Of course, I would never force him, because I don't really know how well he will just take the abuse, I'm gonna say. So I wouldn't suggest this figure as a wild toy for kids. Even though if the child is careful and kind with the toy, maybe it will just be nice. But I think it's more like a collectible than actually a toy doll. Even though it looks really like a sweet doll toy, doesn't he? He has this good guy's overalls. They hold on well on his shoulders. Just so cute on him. What I really like about Chucky is that he looks like a mad toddler. He looks so damn cute. He's probably the cutest killer ever. Sometimes I just pull up his collar because it falls behind his overalls. There's some text here. I don't really know what it say. I don't really know what this try me function says.
Time to play. You know what they say. You just can't keep a good guy down. Time to play.
No, this is the try me function. Just like to put him off. There you go. The midest position for the switch is the off mode. I have to use my both hands to close his shirt. He has such a nice pattern of stripes on his shirt. Even though I noticed that the patterns of the stripes on his shirt in the latest movies doesn't really it's not exactly the same as on this figure. So I think this pattern is pretty old. When you have a look at I believe it's Seed of Chucky and the other movies, they have another pattern. But that's a detail you've got to notice, of course. Still, I really like the colors of the stripes. I really like also the material of the clothing. It feels a bit like jeans. And this feels more like, yeah, like cotton. Now, of course, on my doll, as you can see, his sleeves and also, yeah, the material gets a bit messed up and used because, yeah, he's always against me. Well, this guy should be quite fine. But you know, what I do when I go to sleep with Chucky in his very own personal, custom sleepy bag. Seriously. Yes, I collected this a while ago. I still have it. And like this, he just well protected in there, and I just take the bag against me. So, like this is a nice way to sleep with him. Collect the bag and put him inside. Just like this, you can just take him everywhere while he's well protected. So that's actually my tactic. It works out really well. He has really sweet patterns all over his overalls, and I think also the coloring of this doll is really well made. He has such an adorable little red collar here, such a slim neck. I hope the one from 2019 will look nice. I had the impression he would, but he just really, yeah, it gets really different from the very first one they ever created. So I'll have to get used to him. Can feel his little knee here, and he has one open hand. Such cute little fingers. And one that can hold a knife, so I'll give him his knife. There you go, there are the boys. Now, this guy has like a clean knife, and this guy has a bloody knife. I suggest you can just, well, actually I suppose you can just switch knives. Putting them into his hand the very first time can be a bit tricky. That's why the knife here holds on pretty well, and this guy drops it so easily that it's just that the way his thumb comes around the knife can make it very hard for the doll to hold the knife properly, see? If he would attack someone holding the knife this way, I don't think he will make any victims. There you go. I'm glad to have them both next to each other. I'm gonna put them on my desk now, where Richie's cage used to be. That's actually also the reason why this Chucky was never packed out, because the cage actually took a lot of room. So now I have some place for him. I have some room on my desk. The cage is just in the attic. I didn't get rid of it. It's a nice cage, and but I couldn't keep it here, so I decided to keep it on the attic. And also seeing that empty cage just, yeah, breaks my heart. So I prefer to see those Chuckies. Now, I think this is going to be it for this video. What I can tell you about these figures is that I've been there. I have been also thinking, would it be very wise or would it be interesting spending the money on those figures? Especially because I wasn't quite sure I could actually, yeah, use them for what I was going to use them. But after all, for me, it ended up as a success. And as you can see now, I have 3 of them. So if you like this character, I would suggest give it a try. I know it cost $100. That's a bit the weak spot of these figures. They're quite expensive. But they're good size, they're super charming, sturdy, and loving. And they speak sentences. Just look at their hair. You don't see that from the packaging, do you? He doesn't have... I don't think he does have enough hair on top of his head. But if you mess his hair up, he looks even more realistic. And he has like really nice ginger shiny hair. And you can pause this figure too. And I can tell you I was really... I was very surprised and I was immediately in love with this figure seeing it. So I have been watching several reviews on YouTube before actually getting these figures. So I've been there, I know what it is. So if you're still actually thinking, or if you're not quite sure about this, just leave a little comment. Maybe we can talk about it. For me, it was also a little step to take. I wasn't quite sure about it, but after all, for me, it turned out quite well. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I think this will be, for now, the last Mezco 15-inch Chucky Island box. Because, yeah, well, these guys are like $300 to go together. So, I really love these ones. Yeah, definitely. That's the reason I got them. The 3 boys. Yeah, so I'm super happy with them. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.